and it looks sloppy. So just make sure that all of them are nice in order and the string looks good. So this is the first string. This is the low E string. Then you can just keep going all the way from your A string, D string, G string, B, and E. And just keep going. The two, these are called string trees. Right now I have two of them. On my other guitar I only have one. But here, make sure the string gets caught underneath both of these two branches of the string tree. Make sure they go underneath that. That keeps the guitar string level out to the back of these tuning pegs. Okay, and that's pretty basic. I'm just gonna go ahead and do all the other strings. Okay, so we have all the strings on. Up here, when you're winding the string up onto the tuning pegs, just by turning it, make sure that all the winds are exactly consecutive. If they're all consecutive, they're not overlapping, then your guitar won't go out of tune as much as if they were overlapping. If they overlap, it causes a bunch of tuning problems and it looks sloppy. So if you have them all nice and neat in one layer rows, then you're good. And also, these little things here, they're very, very sharp. So what I like to do is I like to take a file. If you're not like me, you'd file the ends of the guitar strings just a little bit. You don't have to do much. Just to make sure that they're not as sharp. Because I just poked myself and I'm all bloody from all the strings because they're very, very sharp right after you cut them. So I just like to take a small file and file them down. If anybody has a better way of dealing with this, I'd like to hear it. But even when I'm playing, sometimes I wear gloves, but even when I'm playing, I poke myself on these. So it's a very big nuisance. Okay, so guitar's stringed up. Now we just have to tune it. And if you've ever played new strings before, you know that they are very, very, very hard to keep in tune. So one way to do it is, like I said before, you could boil them. I don't recommend that. I've never heard of anybody doing that except for some weird people. But one way to do it is a trick I learned. All you do is you take your fingers, stick them underneath the 12th fret on whichever string you want. Now, this guitar is perfectly in tune. It's perfect. Now grab the string underneath, put your arm on the strings, let it rest on the strings, put your hand, doesn't matter which way, just put your hand on the 1st through 3rd fret, pull it off the fretboard. I don't know if you can see that, but pull it off of the fretboard and just start wiggling. Just keep wiggling it. And you can be fairly vigorous with it. It's not going to break, especially with these 10s. And you can pull a little bit, you can push a little bit with your hand with this one. Pull a little bit, push. All you're doing is you're getting the slack stretched out of the string so it doesn't come out of tune as much. You're also making sure it's sitting nice and flush inside of the nut right there. So now we're just stretching it out a little bit, pulling and pushing, stretching. Okay. You don't have to do much of it. Now, remember it was perfectly tuned. Now it barely registers on my tuner. It used to be in the middle, now it's all the way down there. That's how much slack was in this string before we did that. Now we just tune up to the note. Okay, tuned up to the note. Now it should not go out of tune as much. That's how you keep the guitar from going out of tune once you put new strings on it. It's very simple. Okay, now I'm just going to do it all now. I'm going to do all the strings now. Just finished tuning the guitar. It looks good. So changing your own strings really isn't as hard as they say it is. You don't need to go to a music store and pay an extra for them to do it for you. It's just as easy just to do it at your own home. Remember, always stretch out your strings. Make sure that all the winds that you do up on the headstock are concentric and they all follow and none of them overlap. And that in the back, that the little ball at the end fits in the hole and is not sticking out. Okay, and that's it. That's all you need to know for tuning. See you next time.